everybody is supposed to be on equal ground, and equal ground is supposed to be based on qualifications. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the debate circle. My name is Stephanie Oshera, your host for the day. Our motion for today reads, academic degrees should be a prerequisite for public service and electoral positions in Kenya. Proposing this motion, we have Mwanambeyu girls all the way from the coast, and opposing this motion, we have Moi Forces Academy. All the best to the two teams. Past proposer, you may now take the floor.
Once, John Maxwell said that a leader is a one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Delay Togaturi from Mwanambeyu Girls strongly proposing the motion that states academic degree should be a prerequisite for public services and electoral position in Kenya. Academic degree, was it? Is an award that is issued by a university to someone who has completed a course. Prerequisite, a prior condition for something to change, to happen. Public services, there are services offered to the public. Electoral position held by people who are elected. A person having a degree, he or she has an open door for any opportunities. Would you rather be served by a person holding a minimum degree or a person has just dropped out from a Form 4, or is a Form 4 graduate or a Form 4 leaver? Academic leaders have the critical education skills which they use to run and improve big institutions, e.g. Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, improved in technological requirements. It is true that integrity remains the biggest defect in Kenya's leadership rank, but does it really invalidate requirement for a degree? For instance, take this as an example. I am very educated, I have a PhD, and I'm sitting next to a person, like we are in a discussion with a person has just dropped in a Form 4. So how do I expect that we are going to be in the same level? I'll be like, my points will be very strong, they'll be very good, very articulate compared to the Form 4 graduate. So, my opposers, please join hands with me saying that academic degree should be a prerequisite for public services and electoral position. Gracias.
Past proposer, the floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Clinton Teniola from Moi Forces Academy, here to strongly oppose the motion that an academic degree should be a prerequisite for public service and electoral positions. First off, the proposers, we agree with you. Yeah, we know we have degrees, we have an academic degree. The reason why we are all in school is actually to get an academic degree. But we do not comply with what you are saying when you say that it should be made a prerequisite. It should not be made a prior condition that should be used in detecting people who should apply for public services or electoral positions. And this is why. So, let's say we have this prior condition to make an academic degree as a must. Yeah, let's say we have this condition where we should make an academic degree a must. So we have this leader. He's an integral leader. He's ready to sacrifice all he has for the Kenyan citizens. He respects and obeys the Constitution. He's a true firebrand of our time, a revolutionary leader. Ponder on that. But he lacks a degree. The leader lacks a degree. Are you telling me that we will oblige this leader away from the roles he can do because he does not have an academic degree? Remember, we do not measure the knowledge someone has by an academic degree. That does not limit the knowledge you have. We have people with certificates. We have diplomas. All these are academic qualifications. Do you know what this leader will do? When we make this a prior condition, do you know what this will tempt him to do? This will tempt him to lead, to continue, or this will tempt him to go for other means to get that paper. And we all know those other means. We've had cases and scandals of our favorite members of parliament, our favorite governors. We have all had the scandals of them faking degrees. We have all had the scandal of counterfeit degrees. Haven't we? So, the fact that a mere piece of document, a mere piece of paper, limits the fact that you are able to lead a nation or given the role as a public servant is clearly not well defined. We require to provide a fair playground for all the candidates who have contested. We do not require them, oh, I have a certificate. Because I have a certificate, I am not well obliged to perform my roles. You know, the problem in Kenya is not actually lack of an academic purpose. The problem in Kenya is lack of integrity. And so, do you remember our revolutionary leader? I can't wait to be 18 to be able to go and vote for him, despite him not having a degree. Thank you.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes to make your case.
Wendell Willkie once said, education is the mother of leadership. My name is Mwaura from the Red Queens Mwanambeyu Girls High School, strongly proposing the motion that states academic degree should be a prerequisite for public service and electoral positions in Kenya. The first proposer said that a leader with integral values, a leader who respects and obeys the Constitution can lead. Okay, yeah, you have integrity, you respect the Constitution, but do you know what the Constitution is? You need knowledge so that you can know what you're supposed to respect, what you're supposed to go by. You need to know the rules that are guiding you to respect the rules of a certain country. So integrity, I think it's overrated because I also have integrity. So I feel like you also said that people with diplomas and certificates can lead. We didn't say that they can't. Yeah, they can with diplomas and certificates, but you just mean like with an academic degree you're smarter. Yeah. On to my first point, leaders who hold an academic degree have greater chances of wooing foreign investors. For instance, the former cabinet secretary for devolution, Charles Keter, he was in a caucus in Egypt in November 1st, 2021, and he was able to receive an award in the United Cities and Local Governments of Africa, UCLG, which was held to attract investors so that they could attend the Afri-Cities Forum in Kisumu. You see, the investors reasoned with this guy. He is smart, he has an academic degree. So whatever he was saying, he was looking at things from a philosophical point of view, so he was able to convince them that they needed to come to Kisumu. And they didn't come to Kisumu just to be in the Afri-Cities Summit. They also came and saw the projects. You know, Kenyans, we are geniuses. Like, look at me, I'm a genius. Like, I look like one. Alfred Mutua is another example of a leader with an academic degree who was also able to attract investors by using his knowledge. You know, sometimes when you talk to someone, they just look at how you present yourself. You can just talk to someone and even if they don't understand what you say, your knowledge, you know, like there's something you say promptitious. Even if they don't know what you're saying, they will just agree with you. So with an academic degree, I can persuade you to believe something that is not true. I can do that, right? Yeah, she agrees. So I feel that when two people are brought together, a person with a diploma, as you said, and a person with an academic degree, you won't tell me anything. Babaz, okay, sorry. I'm learned. And I also want to conclude by saying there are certain leaders who are able to do much compared to, when we compare the leaders in Kenya, the leaders with an academic degree have done much. For example, Alfred Mutua, yeah, I didn't explain that, and he's my uncle. Gosh, I hope he doesn't see this. He built a FIFA-accredited stadium, which up to 2017 was the only stadium built by a county government. A person with a diploma cannot reason this. You have to have, like you have to be smarter than what you are. So having a diploma, you're still a child. You have to go back and get an academic degree. I rest my case. Thank you.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes for your case.
My name is Ronnie Kemi from the MFA High School, and I'm here to oppose the motion that states academic degrees should be a prerequisite for public service and electoral positions in Kenya. Now, up until now, have you noticed the problem with Team Proposition's case? They are judging intelligence based on the basis of an academic degree. This is an insult to us all here. We are in school. We are in school at the moment. We have no academic degrees. We are working towards that. But are you saying we are not intelligent just because we do not have an academic degree? Wrong. And again, they talked about integrity being overrated. Oh my. Which country do you live in? You live in a country where there is corruption every day, and you're talking about integrity being overrated. Unlike my proposers, I did my assignment. I went and found a certificate of completion for someone with a degree. And guess what I found on that certificate? There was nothing in that certificate that said good decision maker, competent and efficient leader, person with integrity, savior of Kenyan politics, just because you have a degree. Oh my. Degrees do not define leadership. Let's take a case of our 12th parliament. The one that just passed here. It had 130 MPs with degrees, and it had 15 PhD holders. And let's judge that parliament. Well, it was supposed to ensure gender equality. It failed, all you ladies in the house. Because we have the one-third gender issue going to parliament, in, out, but they couldn't decide this group of geniuses with their degrees and all of that. Degrees limit good leaders. You have a good leader, passionate about his job, but for some reason, he does not have a degree. On this other case, you have a leader with a degree. We are not sure even that degree was obtained lawfully, and that leader with that degree has a poor track record. So are you saying that just because the leader has a degree, we should take them, even though they have the wrong intentions in their mind and they cannot take our country forward? And it is important that we emphasize our position as team oppositions. Just because we are saying degrees should not be a prior condition to leadership, it does not mean we are saying academic qualifications should not be a must. I would like to remind you, the diplomas, the certificates, these are all good academic qualifications that can offer leadership skills. And now tell me, what does a degree offer that all these cannot? It is against the will of the people. If you did not know, I'm here to remind you that we live in a democratic state where we are supposed to elect our leaders. But if you lock us out of choosing the best leaders for our country just because they do not have a degree, have you served justice to us? No, you've not served justice to the case. You've not served justice to the motion. And wow, get your research right.
For the question session, it has been brought to the proposer's attention that academic degrees are many and varied. How do we control for quality in such a situation? The opposers, on the other hand, have been asked what they will use as a guarantee for intellectual capability in high-level decision-making spaces. Third proposer, you have 3 minutes to make your case.
To my fellow debater, no, we ain't judging. And if it's an insult, we are sorry. But let me tell you the truth. The truth always hurts. So you just sit down, relax, go for the academic degree, then we can talk. Yes, diplomas and certificates are good, but we need better. We do not need good diplomas and certificates. What we need is better diplomas and certificates. Kel Blendil said that educated leaders understand the essence of education. So, having an academic degree will help one in spearheading various sectors. For example, the infrastructural sector, the agricultural sector, and also the health sector. A good example is Anyang' Nyong'o, whom revamped rice farming basically because he was highly educated. He was also able to communicate with investors who supported him in the, we can take a good example like in 2016. He made a very big improvement like from 52,500 bags of rice to 280,000 bags of rice. So you can see that is quite a big improvement. We as Kenyans, when are we going to ask ourselves, why must we always accept compromised standards? And these compromised standards are the ones that are bringing Kenya into a mess. Why don't we follow up and follow follow what other countries are doing? Because they have accepted both integrity and a degree. So some of the countries that have practiced both integrity and degrees are countries like China, Malaysia, and Singapore. It is true that integrity remains the biggest deficit in Kenya's leadership rank. But does that really invalidate requirement for a degree? Professor Anyang' Nyong'o also he played a role in the Jomo Kenyatta's referral health center. Back then, Kenyans had problems in acquiring health facilities or health facilities. So now we have better improved medical facilities. Like Kenyans used to go to India, but right now Professor Anyang' Nyong'o has made it easier for the people who are suffering from cancer and etc. So I ask my fellow debaters to follow me and agree that academic degree should be a prerequisite for public service and electoral positions in Kenya. I am Camila Mukami, representing Mwanambeyu Girls.
Third opposer, you have 3 minutes to make your submissions.
One of the speakers talked about Alfred Mutua. My name is Alfred Mutua from the Moi Forces Academy, here to strongly oppose on the motion that academic degrees should be made a prerequisite for public service. They talked about Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. That's fine. In fact, it's brilliant. Such a brilliant point. But I want to take you to one of the points that they said about better decision making, which I'll also integrate with the question posed to me. This is not the first time that we're hearing of this motion. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a motion debated in the parliament in the year 2021. The very same motion. And the same mistakes made by the proposers were the same mistakes these people are making. Because all of you deem lacking a degree as lack of knowledge. It's not kindly. It is not a lack of knowledge. They talked about, going for the academic degree, it being better in terms of at the top, making better decisions and all of that. So you're trying to tell me the decisions I make are justified by a piece of paper. That is what you're trying to tell me. I want to take you to a person who actually has 17 academic degrees. 17. Do you know his name? The dark horse of the 2022 presidential election, George Wajakoya. Do you know what this person was advocating for? The selling of the testicles of hyenas. Destroying our wildlife. The legalizing of bang in our country. The youth is destroyed. Academic degrees, better decision making. Degrees in political leadership. If you decided to make these degrees a prerequisite, what you have is selecting a few people, a few of the elite to represent the country. What about that person in the marginalized area who actually never got the chance to go for that degree? And actually, if you've listened to us carefully, you'll notice that we are not against these degrees. They're brilliant, they're amazing. What is our issue? Them being used as a criteria to select our leaders up there. Because I can be a good leader, I cannot have a degree. Let's take an instance. I'm from a poor family. I do my KCSE and I pass. I want to be a leader, but then the opportunity is shunned from me. The opportunity is shunned because I do not have a piece of paper to account for my intelligence. Surely, do you want to tell me that I shouldn't lead just because I don't have this piece of paper of justification? I don't think so. One of them also talks about, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o and the fact that, she had a degree and all that. I want you to take a minute and ponder. If his degree actually stated a good decision maker, then come here and tell us that academic degrees should be a prerequisite.
Proposition, you have 1 minute to wind up your argument.
I'm sorry that my fellow proposer did not answer a question from the audience. There is one who said that he's still in school, but he knows about the Constitution. You know what the Constitution states because the person who is teaching you has an academic degree. Thank you. And lastly, I won't say that someone from the opposition said that people fake degrees, but they always found. I'm from the coast, and we always say, siku za mwizi ni harubaini. Yeah, so we will always catch them. Like, I won't mention names for security purposes, but join me. Academic degree should be a prerequisite for public service and electoral positions in Kenya. Thank you.
Opposition, you have a minute to sum up your argument.
Sometimes we just tend to be naive. So if you're gonna close your eyes, let me be the one to open them. At the moment, a degree is a requirement for you to run for the presidential, gubernatorial, and senatorial seat. It's only different when it comes to members of parliament and members of county assembly and such. And ever since that was implemented, have all the issues in the gubernatorial seats, in the senatorial seats, and the presidential seats been solved? No. Yet degrees are a requirement. What am I saying? Degrees do not solve all issues. Having a degree doesn't make you a proper leader. But see it in this way. A degree should be an added advantage, where if you have two leaders, both with exceptionally good traits and with a good vision for the country, and one has a degree and the other one doesn't, then it should be seen as an additional condition, just a cherry on top of the cake, not the whole cake. Thank you for my time.
Mwanambeyu, delight. When it comes to definitions, I think it was well done, but it took a lot of time. You want to be very quick at just taking the key terms and go straight to the point, so that at least you're left with time to give us submissions, all right? Mwaura, I think you stood out. Good presence and, the knowledge, that you spoke about when it comes to, how it helps you even understand matters constitution. I think that was very good. You're the strongest in your team. It was very visible on that. However, towards the ending, I must say the examples were hitting the walls a bit, because I could tell you wondering, how do I connect it out? Towards the end, there was a bit of a stutter, okay? So you want to be careful with that. But overall, well done. In terms of style and presentation, you stood out. Mastery of language, your passion and conviction, that was amazing. But so in terms of mastery of topic and your argument's sake, check on that. Camilla, I must say, as you said, we need better. I could also say I need better from you as well when it comes to presentation. So it was good, but it can be done better. So good, sober submissions. More work, just a bit on coherency. All right.
For the opposers, Moi forces, their examples were convincing. I felt like they went into rebutting very well on your points on the degree with relevant examples. Ronnie particularly stood out for me with a clear beginning, middle, and ending, good pace, confident. Clinton also localizing the examples and the use of integrity very well. For Alfred, I think for you what came out was how you answered the questions that were posed to you. That for me was convincing, and generally I think your strategy as a team was coherent. You were all aligned with your points. Yeah, so thank you.
We are at the end of yet another debate. We listen, we learn, and sometimes we win. Our learners for today are, with 64%, Mwanambeyu, a round of applause for them. And our winners for today are Moi Forces with 69.2%, a round of applause for them. A hearty thank you to the teams on stage and the entire ecosystem that has made this debate possible. That is all from us here at the Debate Circle. We hope to see you in the next one. I have been your host, Stephanie Washera.